Welcome to Ravings of a Lunatic with Kris Jobson, where we uncover truths hiding in plain sight, where we dive into our blind spot to reveal the obvious, and where illusions vanish when we dare to face our fear. Thank you for joining me here today. If this is your first time, please note that during this episode, I will introduce to you some powerful affirmations that will help you set bold, empowering, and positive new intentions. While towards the end of today's episode, I invite you to join me in a guided declaration to further ground these affirmations in your mind, your body, and your vibration. Welcome to episode 8, Reclaim Your Value, Part 2. In this episode, we will take a deeper look at how our addiction to comparing, competing, and judging keeps us disempowered and how it affects our lives. As I said in part 1, I often refer to our modern society as the old system. That is because this system contains many programs that do not give us the tools, the understandings, the information, or awareness we need to be a healthy society. In fact, it seems to thrive on much dysfunction, disharmony, and disinformation. And I know that we are living in a time where all this is coming to light, so we can finally become a united, empowered society where we no longer just survive, but we all thrive. Now, this old system uses many strategies to keep us giving over our value and our power to it. Strategies of endless comparing, judging, and competing. And there's one main goal that all these strategies have in common. Their primary goal is to divide us into groups where we fight amongst ourselves, chasing after things that do not bring happiness, while being stuck in that vicious cycle for as long as possible. Let's take a closer look at these strategies one by one. Strategy number 1, comparing. Now, when society pushes us to compare, it is usually to focus on our differences. Society keeps us obsessed with our differences. It divides and separates us into groups, the best groups and the worst groups. Strategy number 2, judging. Now, when society pushes us to judge, it is usually to focus on who is right and who is wrong. And once again, society divides and separates us into groups. It judges which group is right and which group is wrong. Strategy number 3, competing. And here once again, society divides and separates us into groups, the winners and the losers. This is how comparing, judging, and competing work side by side to create the best group, which is always right, they're the winners. And the worst group, which is always wrong, they're the losers. The winning group is the place to be. It gets all the value, respect, and importance, while the losing group is the place to avoid, for it gets hate and rejection. This is how we've been taught to divide ourselves, where some are better than others. Not different from others, but better than others. This has everyone desperately trying to be part of the winning group and running away from the losing group. The winners have achieved the money, or the status, or things that society dictates are valuable. And the losers are those who have not been able to achieve these things or have not been able to maintain them. But what exactly is this prize for being in these high-valued groups? Well, if you're in the right group, you get valuable things and praise from the outside world. And that can make you feel good about yourself for a while, maybe even just a short while. Because if you need society's praise or approval to make you feel good about yourself, then you are a slave to society. It means that society decides if and when you like yourself or not. You become a puppet. Maybe you gain some valuable thing and that fills you up for now. But soon, and very soon, someone else will gain an even better thing than you did. And they will then get the praise you once got. You won't be the winner anymore. You will now be less valuable than them in this game. Do you then feel smaller than them because they win and you lose? Do you now like yourself less and love them more? As I said in part 1, All the value you are giving to winning and gaining things in the external world is you giving away your power and sense of value. When society tells you this thing is important, it's trending, and it's precious, then you pour all your likes, love, attention, and money into that thing. You pour your value into it. You give your power and value to that thing, and so do others who are caught in this cycle. And now you must go and buy that thing to get back all the power and value you poured into it in the first place. You have been tricked, and that thing you acquired brings you pleasure for a short while. But that pleasure is not long lasting or satisfying enough in any real way. And so you have to keep buying or attempting to get more and more things to feel empowered. This is a vicious cycle that never ends. And we can waste our whole life running on this hamster wheel, not realizing that it was all a lie, for nothing, just a trick, a useless game of control. The reason these so-called valuable things don't give you long-lasting empowerment is because they never had that power or that value in them in the first place. They were just things, and you were manipulated into believing they had value to give you. But no, you have the value. No outside thing can give you value. Your sense of value comes from inside you. Repeat this affirmation with me. Affirmation. My value comes from me and not from anything in the external world. End of affirmation. Now, of course, you can appreciate winning and the beautiful things, but they do not have power or value in your life until you decide they do. It all comes from you. If today everyone in the world decided that all the things that were great yesterday are suddenly stupid and meaningless today, then all those things would lose their value immediately. And you and I, no one would strive to achieve them. Which shows you, we decide what is meaningful and we give that thing value. Society does not decide, we decide. And when we do this consciously, we break free from this programming that is telling us what we should value and what we should follow. Society needs us all to believe this lie for it to work. But when we break free from it, the system begins to collapse. This old system is distracting us from our own inner power and strength, tricking us into believing that we can get them from the external world. Do not believe that lie. When we are lost in this system, we create wars, destruction, stress, and pain because everyone is too busy trying to gain value and their sense of self from external things. With comparison, competition, and judgment as the primary tools, it is every man for himself, desperately trying to stay afloat in this system where no one can truly win. There are no winners. Everyone is still feeling threatened and in competition, even with themselves. No matter how rich, beautiful, and accomplished they are still not really happy or at peace. They are still on the edge for the next moment to either win or lose at gaining value from the outside world. This is an illusion of smoke and mirrors that is not real or sustainable, and we exhaust ourselves and the planet in the process. That system feeds on all of us because it has no fuel of its own. When we stop feeding it, the system falls. Take your time to digest this. This is a powerful wake-up call where we can either free ourselves or remain asleep. We can see through the illusions of this programming and regain our power or not. The choice is yours. And the only permission you need is your own. Repeat this affirmation with me. Affirmation. I break free from all programming that has used my power to entrap me. I see through all deception and recognize my true power and value. End of affirmation. Be aware of every time you start comparing, judging, and competing. When you find yourself doing this, ask yourself, what purpose does this serve? Is this just a habit? Or is this how I've been blindly going along with the system? Will comparing, competing, or judging really help this situation? Or is it a way to big up my ego by dragging someone else down? Is this how I gain power and value in myself? Every time you start comparing, judging, and competing, catch yourself. Wait, am I playing this better than, less than game where I'm fighting to win and not lose? But why? My power lies within me. My value is already here. It is not out there in that game. I don't need to judge, compare, or compete with myself or anyone. I don't need to do this. And you take the time to go inside yourself and feel your value. Then step out in life from that value. Let your sense of value guide you and direct you. Repeat this affirmation with me. Affirmation. I do not need to judge, compare, or compete with myself or anyone else in order for me to feel good about myself. I release my habit of judging. I let go my tendency to compare, and I give up my need to compete. End of affirmation. How do you reclaim your value? By knowing that your value lies within you, and you can give it to things that are healthy for you, the things that make you a better and stronger person from the inside, which is where your true strength comes from. Nothing you ever win, buy, or accomplish in the external world will ever give you strength. It can only show you a reflection of the strength you already possess, and that strength comes from the inside. Be conscious of this game. See how it uses us up, pits us against each other, and keeps us all in desperation, while offering us nothing real, nothing lasting, and nothing fulfilling in the end. Wake up and break out of this hypnosis. Repeat this affirmation with me. Affirmation. I revoke my consent to all systems that are not for my highest good. End of affirmation. By owning your value, you are able to be your true self and live authentically. Make space within your day to acknowledge, I am valuable. I am ready now to show myself what my value can be and do. I will live from this place. Yes, you are the source. You don't have to compare or compete with anyone else because you now know you cannot acquire value from them or from things. Your value comes from you. You have the keys to your value, to your self-love, to your own esteem, and never give those keys away again. They belong only to you. And when you're interacting with people and things, this is your opportunity to reveal and demonstrate the value that you are in your behavior, in your expression. Wake up every morning and feel your value. Honor your presence here on this planet at this time, and find many moments throughout the day to just feel this value. And of course, end your day right before bed with this same practice. Infuse your day with powerful moments of feeling your value, knowing you matter. This is how you build this muscle, how you release the old programming. Make this your daily practice. That value frequency you now hold will inspire others to feel their value. Your flame ignites the flame in others. This is how we affect the world in a healthy and deliberate way. You can now see the value that others bring. Even when they cannot see it themselves, you can see it because you are living from the value frequency, and you will be amazed at the life that creates. Now, when you look at the old system, trying so hard to have you believe it's programming, trying to make you run after some illusion or compare and compete with someone, now you find all of that so boring. You are uninterested in playing that useless game. Those tricks that once pulled you in now become tired and empty. You have broken free, free to help create a better system that can enrich life for all. Repeat this affirmation with me. Affirmation. I understand the power of my focus and my energy, and I invest them in systems that benefit all of humanity. End of affirmation. Shortly, I will take you through a powerful guided declaration where you can ground all of today's affirmations deep within your mind, your body, and your vibration. But first, let me share something with you. For every challenge and situation you face, for every trauma you've lived that has affected you in some way, there are methods and techniques to not only heal and overcome these difficulties, but to learn and grow from them, transforming yourself into better and better versions as you move through your life. These are specific methods and techniques that I have made available through the books and courses that I have created. I have written 4 books on mindfulness and self-worth that are available on Amazon. Each book guides you through a 60-day journey to self-development. In addition, I have a 21-day online course of video lessons, worksheets, meditations, affirmations, journaling, and much more that dives into developing self-love, building self-confidence, and positive boundaries. Both the books and the course use a method I have created that provides a deep dive into self to investigate what truly makes you tick and give you the insights, the knowledge, and discovery you need to transform yourself from the inside out. Just as there's a strategy and technique to play the piano, to be a lawyer, to be a doctor, there is a strategy and technique for you to be in your self-mastery, for you to understand and know yourself, so when issues arise, you are ready and equipped to handle them. You can find all this material at ravingsoflunatic.com. Now, please repeat this personal declaration with me. This is a mantra, a vow to yourself that allows you to step into your potential. Within this declaration, you will find the series of affirmations that we have done in this episode to allow you to absorb them deep in your mind, your body, and your vibration. I will repeat each affirmation 2 times. Be present. Be focused and alert as you repeat this declaration. Let's begin. My personal declaration. This is my quiet time with myself. My private safe space to open up and be completely honest, supportive, yet firm with myself. In this space, I will not judge myself. I will be my very own best friend. Here is where I cultivate positive new habits, where I build empowering new beliefs, and where I give myself permission to transform into the next best version of me. I know there may be moments where I may feel resistance to this journey, but I am willing to commit to this practice out of love and respect for myself. This is how I grow from joy to joy and from power to power. I am ready to be the best version of myself, and I give myself the opportunity to do so now by allowing the following affirmations to sink deep within my mind, my body, and my vibration. Affirmation number 1. My value comes from me and not from anything in the external world. End of affirmation. Now once again, My value comes from me and not from anything in the external world. Affirmation number 2. I break free from all programming that has used my power to entrap me. I see through all deception and recognize my true power and value. End of affirmation. And again, I break free from all programming that has used my power to entrap me. I see through all deception and recognize my true power and value. Affirmation number 3. I do not need to judge, compare, nor compete with myself or anyone else in order for me to feel good about myself. I release my habit of judging. I let go of my tendency to compare, and I give up my need to compete. End of affirmation. And one more time. I do not need to judge, compare, nor compete with myself or anyone else in order for me to feel good about myself. I release my habit of judging. I let go of my tendency to compare. And I give up my need to compete. Affirmation number 4. I revoke my consent to all systems that are not for my highest good. End of affirmation. Now once again, I revoke my consent to all systems that are not for my highest good. Affirmation number 5. I understand the power of my focus and my energy, and I invest them in systems that benefit humanity. End of affirmation. And again, I understand the power of my focus and my energy, and I invest them in systems that benefit humanity. End of declaration. This podcast is created to help each of us to become an expert on ourselves and to become the person we know we can be. Here's a suggestion for how you can best utilize this podcast. You can use it as a practice, as your personal transformation practice. You can create a Ravings of a Lunatic journal of your own, where you write down the questions I ask you and allow yourself to answer them fully. This will be your journal for you to know more of who you are, to understand yourself on a deeper level, and to step into the next best version of you. You can also write down any quotes or parts of the episode that connect with you. I do this practice myself, and it has proven to serve me well. If this resonates with you, go ahead and give it a try. Thank you for joining me here today. Please join me next week, Thursday, for our next episode. Until then,